Welcome to the apex of sports ownership, the Apex Athletic Collective.
Welcome in, everyone, to episode 96 of Instigate Success. I'm your host, as always, Jake Schoen, aka Jakeymuffins, here with the official podcast of the Hoosier State Instigators every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the next hour or so. Welcome back, everyone. We had a week off. Last weekend was the 4th of July, so we did take that off, but we are back. We'll be back, and every Friday night. But we've got a couple of things to get caught up on, some Instigators news, and some stuff. If you've been following us on social, probably seen a lot of posts recently over the last couple of weeks. So we announced last week, we didn't have the show, but we made an announcement that we had a vote coming up, some things to keep your eyes out on. But we will start with, since we didn't get a chance to cover it the other week, let me see if I can pull it up. I think it is this. Yeah. We had an open gym not too long ago. So a cool opportunity for some guys to come out hoop at the Best Choice Fieldhouse, the official home venue of your Hoosier State Instigators. And they're returning this season again to Best Choice Fieldhouse. So going into our third season, second time we're going to have the same home venue. First time consecutively we've going to have the same home venue for year after year. Really looking forward to that. But always an awesome opportunity there. That was last Wednesday, the 2nd. Again, we didn't get a chance to talk about that because it happened last week and we didn't have the show. But nice opportunity there for some guys to show up and ball out. And have an opportunity to kind of tune up their skills before we have the tryout, which we'll jump into. That's the big news for this weekend, or I guess one of the big news things for this weekend. But that was a cool opportunity we had last week. We just didn't get a chance to talk about. So I just wanted to bring that up briefly to start the show up. But cool opportunity for some guys to meet up and get some a training hoop session up at Best Choice, the home venue. As I mentioned, the tryout, I believe it is that the tryout is tomorrow, so that is kind of the big news for this weekend. Updated the whole layout here on our streaming platform. So let's see, there's the big news. We'll do that. Big news. So tryouts tomorrow, 1 p.m. At the Harrison Center. This is taking place in Indianapolis. So big opportunity for guys to show up and show out, possibly earn a spot on the Hoosier State Instigators roster for the upcoming ABA season. That is the vast majority of our players have been through tryouts, and we're at the point where we're looking to get that roster shaped up and start making some announcements for signings. But we're gonna have to see how the tryouts go tomorrow. And hopefully we do get some footage. I know we're trying to get some footage. We just have had some issues with the past the past one for this year, and then the couple of the ones from last season. But we're gonna try to get that up. And all of our Patreon members, hopefully for those at the certain tier levels, they'll have an opportunity to catch some action of that. Regardless, it is an amazing opportunity for anybody that is looking to join the Instigators. If you or anyone is interested in becoming a professional basketball player, if they're local to Indy, around that area, you can travel as well. Obviously not all of our guys are centered in Indy, but a good number of them are. But I think we're going to have a really nice turnout to this event. We've been pushing this for the past few weeks, trying to make sure that it is well known around the area. And anybody that's interested had time to get their schedule and plans arranged. So they'll be there at the Harrison Center tomorrow at 1 p.m. Again, if you sign up online in advance, you can scan that QR code there. And you will save yourself $10 rather than showing up at the door. It's 65 if you go ahead and sign up ahead of time, and it's 75 if you show up at the door. So if you do plan on going and you know you're going, I would recommend signing up ahead of time. Obviously, then you save yourself some money. Um, but it is an amazing opportunity. I think, like I said, I think we're gonna have a great tryout here. A lot of people showing up. Last season, I think our best turnout was 30 some players coming to a tryout. With this one being an Indy, hoping we can hit numbers around that, if not higher. So keeping an eye out for that. But we'll definitely share some updates again with everyone here on Patreon. And again, this is streaming live. So anyone that is a new member, this streams live on the Patreon. It does get uploaded on YouTube as well as it is streaming live over on Twitch now with the Apex Athletic Collective Twitch. So that is the big news for this weekend. Definitely looking forward to that. I know I've seen in the comments a few times when we posted this, certain guys saying that they're going to be out for the event, for the tryouts. So really looking forward to that. I definitely think, each year as we continue to grow, that we continue to have a bigger player pool, and when you have the bigger player pool, I think that there is a bigger talent pool. So it makes it both better and harder. So obviously makes it better as in the sense that we have more players to select from, and a larger talent level to select from. But it does make it harder, obviously, because you're going to have to make some decisions between certain players. And some guys that in the past could have been on the roster, you're gonna have to make the tough decision and kind of narrow down that roster just to the top 13 or so players. You can have 11 active. Last season we did have that reserve roster for a bit, and then obviously that's something hopefully we can continue to build upon. We also had the fans man vote. Those are kind of things we're looking at. Obviously we'd like to do both of those again, but we have to get some of those squared away as far as the best ways to implement those. But realistically, 11 players on the active roster week to week, and then if we do have a few guys back on that reserve roster as well, that can fill in for injuries, other things that come up, um, as far as scheduling conflicts and whatnot. Obviously, it's better to have more depth if possible, but we would like to have our roster set to the point where we can have, pretty much something that we want to do, and we've been really hitting on this off season in particular, trying to have a roster set once we hit the beginning of the season that is a roster that can continue to be on the squad for the whole season. Obviously it's very difficult to guarantee the same roster from the start to the end of the season, just due to the nature of the ABA, and but it is something that I think we've seen a lot of times, especially last season, earlier in the season when the roster, um, was familiar with each other. They played, the summer games. You had the Gold Cup last season, and you kind of built that team chemistry going into it. Then we went on a hot streak to start the season, got ourselves ranked, and hopefully we continue to do that again this season. But hopefully we get to the point where we can continue going on that trend, and not kind of hit the fluidity of the roster situation we had this season. And I think that really is what kind of threw things a little off track, and ultimately led to some of those losses racking up towards the end of the season. Um, just overall team chemistry, I think, is especially in a league like the ABA is really key, because we have like one game a week. most weeks. Some games or some weeks we'll have a couple of games, and again, that's something that we had scheduled this past season, season two, because we saw that was something we have to face in the playoffs and play-ins, is the doubleheader games, the back-to-back games over the weekend. So we'll have some this year too as well. But for the vast majority of the weekends, it's one game. And if you're only playing with the same guys on the court once a week, it's a little bit more difficult than if you have um, you know, like the NBA, obviously, you got multiple games throughout the week. Same with college basketball, multiple games throughout the week. It's a little bit easier when you have the more repetition with the same guys on the court. So, again, having that same roster week to week, knowing how the guys play, knowing the strengths and weaknesses, building on that is a huge key. But I think we're gonna have some of our key guys returning for this upcoming season. But again, we gotta have the tryout tomorrow, see what talent shows up for that. Ultimately, then I think we're gonna have a better idea of how the roster shapes up for that. Um, but again, that's tomorrow at 1. I'm sure we'll mention it again before the end here. Again, sign up online, save yourself $10 at 65 rather than at the door. You're always welcome to show up at the door. I'm not going to turn people away, but at the door it is $75. But again, that is the easiest way. I guess it's not easy, but the best way, I should say, to get yourself on the Instigators roster for season 3. Obviously, this one is tomorrow, and depending on how it goes, it could be the last one. Again, it's really going to depend on where we feel our talent level is with the team as a whole. At that point, once we have this tryout combined with some of the guys that we are trying to get back, and then we'll be starting to make some announcements here in the near future with you know um, some of the signees once we do have that. So be on a lookout for that. Following maybe the next couple of months. Again, season is going to start up in October, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, as it did this past season. I think our first home game, though, is not going to fall until November. But official announcements will be made, not too far in the future. We only got a few more months out until the ABA season comes out, and that's what we got going on with the Instigators as the team. But be on the lookout for more announcements for that. Hopefully, we do have some clips from the tryouts from tomorrow. And again, I'll shout out all of our Patreon members. If you are not a Patreon member, we have some pretty exclusive stuff over on the Patreon. I want to thank everyone who is a Patreon member. We are again getting so close to that 150 member mark. Hopefully we can hit that before the season launches. But you get access to exclusive votes. If you're that fan voter tier or higher, we did have a vote go out recently, and actually we'll jump into that here in just a few. That is a free vote. Actually, we might as well just jump into that now. So we did launch vote this past week. That was the other big news for the week. On Sunday, we launched a fan vote for which of these 4 logos you want to see on a race car. So we are partnering with Brayton Laster, driving the '06 Arca Menards car. Again, he's been wonderful enough to have us on his car a few times this season. The first time that was planned, we were going to be on the hood. The car had some mechanical issues, was not able to race that car in the actual race, but we were on the deck lid, I think, a couple of times following that. So nice to be back on the car again. This is going to be at the ARCA race at IRP. So this one is in Indianapolis, or Indianapolis region, and it's kind of like a home race, not only for the Instigators. This is the first time we're going to be on a race car in Indiana, but it is also a home race for Brayton. He is a Hoosier State native, so always great to partner with some local talent. And I think this is going to be an amazing opportunity for the both of us to kind of expand our brands and collaborate together with that. So really looking forward to that. The race is July 25th, at the end of this month. That is a few Fridays away. What is that? Two. We're on the 11th. So 2 Fridays away. Is that Arco Menards race. And it is actually a double header race. So if you are in the area, it's at the IRP. It stands for Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. It is a short oval track. It is some fun action to see there, short track racing. And not only is the ARCA race on that Friday, it's actually a double header a day, and they have the truck race too. So if you're a fan of the NASCAR truck series, you can watch the ARCA race and the truck race same day, same location, and you can even see drivers such as Frankie Muniz. That is correct. The same Frankie Muniz as the actor Frankie Muniz, Malcolm in the Middle, as well as a bunch of other roles. But Frankie Muniz is a NASCAR truck driver. If you did not know that already, he drives the number 33 Round Bros truck. But that is I mean, you can go to that race, not only see the Instigators number '06, car with Brayton Laster, but you can also see after that, you can see Frankie Muniz race, which is pretty cool. There's obviously there's other people on the track too, but I think it's always just kind of cool to see or say Frankie Muniz is a truck series driver. But anyways, with the vote, anybody that is a Patreon member, you can be a free Patreon member. You don't have to pay anything. All you have to do is go on to the Apex Athletic Collective Patreon and vote for which of these four logos you want to see on the race car. You can scan that QR code. You can go to patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective and vote directly there. But again, all you have to do is sign up. You can sign up for a free member level. You do not have to pay anything for this vote in particular, but we did want to open that up to everybody for this specific vote. Again, the votes regarding like team decisions, things of that nature, those are exclusive to the fan voter tier or higher. When it comes to the Instigators directly. And that fan voter tier or higher, that's the $10 tier or higher. And we do have some exclusive votes. Last season, we had the fans man vote, got to decide the last roster spot for the Instigators throughout the season. Again, roster dependent, but things like that, player evaluations and such. This one again, and it's going to be another vote coming up that's going to be same as this, where you just have to be a Patreon member. Do not have to be a paid member. A free member can vote on these particular votes. Again, that's just to kind of increase some of that fan interaction in the off season, and hopefully kind of introduce you guys, who maybe weren't familiar with the Instigators and the Apex Athletic Collective beforehand, and kind of introduce you guys to some of the off-season stuff, and then hopefully you continue to be with us through the season, and then hopefully you can join us as a paid member, to get exclusive access to live games. That's only $1 tier or higher. If you want to jump to that fan votes when it comes to the team, like the roster decisions, again, that's the $10 tier or higher. And then, there's other ways you can interact as well. But you get exclusive information and news with the Apex Athletic Collective by being a Patreon member. But this vote is live. It did launch on Sunday, this past Sunday, what was that, 6th or 7th? 6th, Sunday the 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to run for a full week. So that runs through the 13th, this Sunday at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m., it will cut off. That'll be the final vote. Whichever of these four has the most votes will move on and be finalized as the design going on the number '06 Arkham Menards car that will be driven at the July 25th race by Brayton Laster. And then we're going to have another vote coming up following that. I will have to see. We'll make an announcement, but it'll either be that same day or it may be the Monday, the following day, where you guys will have an exclusive vote. And it's going to be same as this, where it's launched the same exact way. Go over to the Apex Athletic Collective Patreon. Again, any member, a free member, a paid member, a dollar tier, a fan voter, anybody that is a Patreon member will have an opportunity to vote on this upcoming one. And that is going to be another vote in relations to the number '06 machine that is going to be on the track for the IRP race July 25th. So right now, as far as the vote goes, we'll get a little bit of a better close-up picture there. So you got four options. That first option is the kind of like the OG, as far as what we've seen on Brayton's car this past season or this season. We have had the Instigators logo with the just Hoosier State Instigators on the car a few times, and it's with the white background, black text. This one would obviously be the updated with the instigator specific text. Then number two is going to be same thing, but kind of the inverse, where it is with the black background and the white text. So kind of just like which text you prefer, if you rather have the black background or the white background. And basically one and two are very similar to each other. And then we have kind of like the more unique off-ball designs, ones that you don't necessarily see that often with the instigators when it comes to promos and such. Obviously you see those one and two, you see those all the time. You see the logo in general and that instigators font. Obviously those are synonymous with the brand, but we have a couple of options that we've had in some of our stuff in the past. So number three is the instigators in the Hoosier State with the basketball net above them. So a pretty cool design. I think we haven't used very often. And then we also have kind of like the block text, kind of like honestly like a kind of like a college type of logo, I feel like, with number four. But I think both of those are really cool logo designs. Obviously the instigators logo by itself is amazing, and kind of when you have an amazing logo you can make some cool designs with it. So that's the three and four. Again, those are designs that we've used in the past. We just haven't used them a ton, but I thought that they were kind of cool designs that we've used, and made look cool on a car as well. And obviously there might be a little bit of a bias as far as the vote goes, I'm sure, with some people, because this race is going to be in Indiana. It's the first time we're going to be on a race car in Indiana. We're going to have a driver from Indiana representing the team, our basketball team that's based in Indiana. So number three, I think, again, that may have some bias with it, and may play into the vote, because right now, if we do look at the vote, number three is leading with over 50% of the vote. So there is the update for you guys if you have not already seen or have not already voted, to have an idea where it stands. Number three is currently the outright leader, pretty definitively right now, with over 50% of the total vote. But remember, this vote is running through Sunday at 5 p.m. So you still have plenty of time to vote. If you're not a fan of that number three, you like number one, number two, number four, whichever it happens to be, or if you do like number three, go ahead and vote, get your vote heard. And again, that's going to finalize this Sunday at 5 p.m. It's going to lock. Whichever one wins, we'll make an announcement. And then there's going to be another vote coming up. Again, it's going to be same way as this. Also another vote relating to the car for that race. And you got 2 weeks. If you're in the area, you still got time to plan. If you do want to go out to that race, or even if you're not, you can maybe make some travel plans. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I do have my plans arranged, so I will be going up to that event and that race. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if I have been to an ARCA race yet, and I'm not sure if I've been to a truck race either. So really looking forward to that. Normally, the races I do go to are either Xfinity or Cup races, but I do watch ARCA and trucks, on TV. So it'd be cool to see them in person. Um, and this is kind of a unique event too, with it being at IRP. Um, Actually, let me see if I can pull up their schedule for the day. So let's jump over to their site and we'll take a look at their schedule. So this is for the NASCAR doubleheader event. It's going to be the ARCA Menards and Truck Series race. You see there, the Lucas Oil IRP, and it's the 150 and the 200-mile races there. 1 p.m. the gates open and the ARCA practice starts. 2 p.m. is ARCA qualifying. 3 is truck practice, followed by truck qualifying. Then at 5:30 is the ARCA Menards race. That race is also going to air on FS1. So if you are not in the area for the event, you can still watch it live on Fox Sports 1. And the truck race is following at 8 p.m., assuming, obviously, depends on how the race ends with the ARCA race there. But following that will be on FS1, both of those events. So still have time to get some plans made out for those events. But jumping back here, get your votes in before it is too late. Again, that locks this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, after that, we'll have some votes out for the next round of votes with the race car. So that is what we got coming up there. Then we'll take a look. Actually, I think I still got. Let's see. Yeah, so there we go. That was the original design for the Instigators logo being on the car. So you see there the logo with some smaller text with the Instigators name. That was for the race at Michigan. Um, and again, there's some mechanical issues, so it did not get to run that design. But you see the Instigators logo there on the hood towards the top of the passenger side. But we were on the back deck lid the following week there. You see pretty prominently. So cool partnership. Really enjoy working with Brayton, and it'll be awesome, I think, to see hopefully see the car in person for the first time. And if anyone is going out to the race, definitely hit me up and let me know. See if we can make some arrangements for you as well to see the car in person. I definitely want to get any Instigators fans out to the event, and if we can, have them see the car in person, get some pictures and whatnot. Another thing we did launch recently that we've been blowing up on social media, early bird season tickets. If you didn't already see that, I think we mentioned this the last podcast as well. Basically half price, $49.99 for a limited time for the full ABA season, this upcoming season for your Hoosier State Instigators. Again, we are returning at Best Choice Fieldhouse, an amazing venue that we were at last season. So we'll still be there. But $49.99. It's also going to include any ticket to playoff home games as well, play in playoffs, whatever. Any additional home games, you also get tickets to that included if you do join for the season tickets here. Realistically, again, if you even plan on going to a few games, it is about $10 a game. So that's about the price of 5 games. You're getting half price on these basically if you do go to all the games there with the 10 on the schedule currently, home games. So Again, a great opportunity if you plan on going. You can scan that QR code, and that'll get you directly over to our ticketing site through Passage. So that is again, that's a limited time offer. It's gonna run a little bit longer. Haven't made an official announcement or far as the decision of how long it's going to run, but it is not going to be a permanent thing. It is just an early bird season tickets. Once we get a little bit closer to the regular season, we'll be going back to the full price on those. Um, but that is again some of the instigators news. I feel the instigators news for um, this this podcast to catch up on for what we had the past couple of weeks. So that is that. Let's jump over to the ballers. We have been keeping up with them, seeing where they stand. Obviously with the Apex Athletic Collective. Not only do we have the Hoosier State Instigators, but we also have the Oakland Ballers. And let's jump over there. Our baseball team over in the Pioneer League, Oakland Ballers, starting out July. Again, this is going to be the beginning of July, and wow, they have been on a roll there. One loss so far in the month of July, with that coming on the 9th with a 12-1 or 12-11, one-run loss there to Rocky Mountain Vibes. Some of these scores are crazy though. 20-0. That feels like that's got to be maybe a mercy rule in that event on Saturday. But overall, it looks like they're rolling right now. They got an event live here right now. Looks like it is just starting up, so top of the first there. And looks like it's not sure if I'm human, so let's go back here rather than me testing out my human skills on that bot test there. But you can see there the ballers on a roll, and I think if we go back here, as long as they're really worried to see if we're a human. So let's see and play this game. Yeah, okay. It looks like it's showing that for you guys too. So let's see. So choose all the hats. This is a fun one. Okay, there's a hat. That is definitely a hat. Looks like a hat. That's a hat. It's a hat just randomly in the woods, but that is also a hat. Odd locations for these hats to be placed, but pretty sure we're gonna pass. Okay, we did pass. That's good to know. We are human, and yeah. So yesterday actually, that was what I was gonna go to. Yesterday, the Ballers clinched the playoffs with their victory yesterday over the Rocky Mountain Vibes, brought them to 34-11. They're on a roll as far as the season goes, and puts them at the halfway mark. They are the Pioneer Baseball League first half champions. So congratulations to the Ballers. Obviously. Uh, Doing very well here, and I believe it's their second season. Um, but yeah, to be named the first half champions in their second season, very impressive. Again, 34-11. That's a great record for the Ballers. Yeah, it's just the second season. Okay, I was pretty sure it was the second season. Just the second season. They have already clinched themselves as the first half PBL champions. So really looking good. They already clinched themselves in the playoffs. So hopefully, the instigators could follow that route. And there's not a first half champion, but lock themselves in the playoffs. That's more or less what I'm talking about. Hopefully, we can do that for the first time on the instigator side of things. Um, but that'll be fun to see, fun to follow. We'll continue to check in weekly here with the ballers, but definitely looks like they're rolling right here. So hopefully they can keep that going. Um, but that is your update there for the ballers. Let's see. I think we've got this as well. So again, I tried to do a cricket minute the last time. Again, I don't really understand cricket, but you know who does is Frosty. Him and I do the amateur night special, and it's going to be returning this week. I know it says Saturday at 1. I'll make the announcement here. It's not going to be tomorrow, but we are, I think, planning on Monday night. We'll make an official announcement as far as when we set a time. But just scheduling wise, this it's not going to work tomorrow. So Monday night, we are going to be doing that, or at least we plan on doing that. Official announcement will be made over the weekend, so you guys will know when to watch it. But amateur night will be returning. Again, that's not going to be Saturday at 1 p.m. as it has been. Hopefully we will be returning to that following. But this one in particular, we're going to push it back from Saturday to Monday. So again, official announcement will be made over the weekend. That way, guys, you have a heads up. And then on Monday, you can catch in and tune to some baseball action with the Pendleton Penguins. Um, so that is maybe not a cricket minute, but the baseball section of the AAC part there. But it'll actually be an amateur night. So we'll be returning to the amateur night portion of it. Not amateur night during the day. But that is the news that we've got for that. I did also want to uh, jump into, it's basketball related, so I feel like this is a good thing to talk about. Is the basketball tournament TBT coming up? I think it starts next week. So just pull up the bracket here, and we'll take a look at that. Um, and I think it's well, might as well just pull it up, and then it should say on there anyways. So we got the TBT bracket here. This is the official bracket. But if you're not familiar with the TBT, it is the basketball tournament. I mean, that's what it stands for. But it is $1 million tournament where all these teams match up against each other, kind of like in a March Madness style event. Um, and the winner of the event, they get $1 million to split as a team. So it's always a really fun event, and most of the times it's a lot of guys from like guys that just graduated college, or guys that didn't quite make it in the league, or they're playing overseas, and kind of guys that are they're good enough to be playing at higher levels, but they just may not have some opportunities. So this is an amazing event I watch every year. Obviously, being a Syracuse graduate, that there's a team from Syracuse, Boeheim's Army, that is typically the team I associate with and root for. Typically it's some of these teams are going to be, not strictly just one college in particular, but mostly based with one college. So you can see some of them are like that, like the Ville right there is Louisville. But you got teams as well like Boston versus Cancer. Some of these teams do their team based off of kind of foundations and charity events, and their proceeds, whatever proceeds they do get, go to that rather than the players in particular. Sideline cancer as well. But you got some teams there. That is the Louisville region. Again, that's why Ville is going to be the number 1 seed there. But some of these games are going to broadcast on Fox as well as FS1, FS2. But that launches, I think it's next week. So it looks like the 19th for the Louisville game. So that's going to be next Saturday. You got the Wichita bracket there with the Forever Cougs, the Houston team, the number 1 seed. It looks like there is not enough teams in that side of the bracket, so they're actually going to get a bye there. and they'll play on the 20th. But the other games there will be on the 18th actually. So that's a week from today. Texas got a team there, Austin's own. Challenge ALS. Let's see if it pops up. I have heard on. I did not. But let's see if yeah. So let's share this tab instead. So Challenge ALS. Some of these teams have celebrities and guys that you may know as far as players. This is one that, if you remember, not too long ago, maybe I think a year ago, um, DJ Burns. He was on fire in that NC State Final Four run, I believe they made it all the way to in that March Madness tournament, as well as DJ Horn, the point guard of NC State. Those two guys are teaming up, and they'll be on the Challenge ALS roster. Um, and you can also see there, uh, Amir Orakan is the assistant coach for the Challenge ALS roster. Or that's that's going to be a fun team. So as far as the teams go, that's definitely going to be one I have circled. Obviously they got some other players there as well, but those two guys teaming back up, as well as Amir Khan. You got a McNeese player there as well. Column. I think that's going to be a fun team to watch. We'll jump back to this. But they're a number 3 seed in that side of the bracket. Then we have in Lexington, that's going to be Kentucky. La Familia, the Kentucky team, as the number 1. You got War Ready as the Auburn team as a number 4 seed. But you see, some of these, like Tampa, Florida, pickup basketball. I mean, it's literally like there's a lot of just kind of random squads here that you'll see, but it's always fun because it's like March Madness. You're always going to have some upsets, underdogs wins. But if you look at Lama Familia, if I'm not mistaken, I think they have one of the crazier rosters as well. We can share that. So this is the La Familia team. As you see, there a bunch of guys from Kentucky, guys that have been playing overseas. And the one that stood out to me was Willie Cauley Stein, 7-footer. Definitely somebody that, if you remember back in the day at Kentucky, a really dominant player, and somebody that was in the NBA for a bit. So you have that. I thought I had seen something about possibly some celebrities being on that team as well. So we'll have to see if that does come to fruition or not. But I have heard rumors, at least, of possibly Jesser being on that team. And then I think there's also a rumor, I don't know if it's confirmed for that or for this, that Young Mantis may be on a team as well. But you look at the Kansas City side of things here. Heartfire, number 1 seed on that side, with the Kansas alumni team being number 2, Kansas State number 3 seed. And then you got the further down, so it looks like there's 8. Yeah, there's 8 opening regions. James Madison there will have Happy Valley Hoopers, the Penn State alumni squad, with that being the number 1 seed. You got your James Madison alumni seed there too. And then if we look over here on the other side, the Syracuse side, that's obviously the one I'm going to be paying attention to. Syracuse alumni, Boeheim's Army, plays on the 19th at 6. That one I'm definitely watching if I'm not at work, or maybe I will watch if I am at work. That's going to be on FS1, so opportunity to watch that one. Let's take a look at Boeheim's Army this season. So they are are looking to repeat. They won the tournament last season, but they've got a lot of guys that I know. If you know Syracuse basketball, you probably know a lot of these guys too. But obviously, you got the Boeheims, you got Buddy and Jimmy. Um, obviously, those are Coach Boeheim's sons. So you got those guys there. Elijah Hughes, he was on the roster when I was going to school. Same with Malachi Richardson. Um, and actually, fun fact about Malachi Richardson, I think I've mentioned this before as well. He plays in the same basketball league as ABA All Star. Man, I'm drawing a blank. It's a um, Cam Mitchell. Cam Mitchell. He plays in the same league in Mexico as Cam Mitchell. So there's at least an ABA tie to that with that. But that's always an interesting fact. When I was checking the box scores for some of the games to see how Cam did, I saw Malachi Richardson, and he was in that same league. Rakeem Christmas, again, fun facts. I'm a Syracuse guy, so I know this. He is actually dating, if not engaged, to one of Michael Jordan's daughters, if I'm not mistaken. So there's another fun fact, cool tie. And crazy enough, Jim Boeheim is the coach for Boeheim's Army. So he may have stepped down or retired, or however you want to say it, from the Syracuse, the actual roster. Um, but he is going to be coaching Boeheim's Army. Let's go back here. And the team they're going to be playing, this is also really cool for us with the ABA. The Herkimeyer Originals, the Herkimeyer OGs, they're actually an ABA team. So there is an ABA team that is going to be playing against a team of Syracuse alumni in the first round, the opening round of the TBT. Let's jump over to their squad. So they are, like it says right here, they are in the Northeast Division of the ABA. Believe it or not, there's an ABA team playing in the TBT, which is crazy. At least crazy to me. So take a look at their roster. But you can see they're a pretty good, talented squad here. Lots of height there. 7-footer, 6'7". But guys from Creighton, Delaware, SUNY Oswego, I know that. Obviously being up there. Player GM Joseph Norelli. So that's a fun one there. Um, and also got now this one I've got to ask my brother, and he said he's going to look into this. Sam Sherry, 6'11" power forward from Elon. If that's who I think it is, I don't think they have player cards on here. Fairly certain that he went to our high school, and that my brother knows him, and they may have been in the same class. Update on that next week, but fairly certain if that is who I think it is, he went to our high school. So we'll have to see if maybe we can do some convincing. See if maybe that's somebody that wants to try out for the Instigators next season rather than the Herkimeyer OGs. But update on that next week once I found out some more information. But regardless, if it is that same kid, Sam, best of luck to you. I think he also did sign an overseas deal, if I'm not mistaken. Again, if that is who we are thinking it is. But again, regardless, best of luck for not only Sam, but the Herkimeyer OGs as they face Boeheim's Army. That's going to be a very tough matchup there, going against the defending champions. You also got in that same side of the bracket there, the UConn team. So you got Syracuse and UConn against each other. Always, kind of that Big East rivalry going. You also got Vermont alumni. Then we've got a West Virginia region, elite nation on the top seed there with a first round bye. You have the Herd that with the Marshall alumni, West Virginia alumni. And then you go over to the Indy region. So again, this is tying back to the local as well. You got the Indy region. You got an Indiana alumni team, a Butler alumni team. Carmen's crew is, I believe, Ohio State. Um, so that's another good good teams up there, and it'll be fun to watch. If you don't normally watch it, I definitely recommend watching it. But that's going to launch next Friday for those games, with the championship game, semifinals at the end of the month, and championship game at the very beginning of August. Again, a lot of these games are going to be on um, either Fox, FS1, FS2, and such. But those are some fun basketball games. It's like March Madness, honestly, with a $1 million prize at the end. So that is cool. I definitely love watching that. Um, and we'll just do a couple of shout outs here before the end of the stream for tonight. So one more new thing to announce, and then we'll run back through everything that's coming up. So today is, if you didn't notice this already, it's 7-Eleven. So what does that mean? It's free National Slurpee Day. If you didn't already know this, every single 7-Eleven is free Slurpee Day. So on July 11th, every single year, it is free Slurpee Day. You go into 7-Eleven and you get a free Slurpee. It is free. You don't got to do anything. Um, just go in there, you get a free Slurpee. No purchase necessary as far as I'm aware. You just go in there. Yeah, it's literally, you just go in there and you get a free Slurpee. So 7-Eleven, free Slurpee Day. I also remember that because it is my parents' anniversary. Happy anniversary to my parents. Also makes it super easy because it's 7-Eleven. So I remember, hey, get a free Slurpee. But anyways, you still got time. You still got a couple more hours if you do want to go out, get yourself a free Slurpee. Go ahead and go down to 7-Eleven. We're not getting paid to do this. It's just free. If anybody wants some free food, free drink, I guess technically, go ahead and get yourself a free Slurpee. But you know what else is free is the vote that we're running this weekend that ends on Sunday. The fan vote for which logo design you want on the Arkham Menards car for our race in Indianapolis at the very end of this month. Not very end of this month, July 25th, a couple of weeks out. You got four options there. It is free to vote. Again, scan that QR code, go on the Apex Athletic Collective Patreon, become a member of the Patreon. There is no cost associated to vote with this particular vote, and get your voice heard. Again, right now, number 3 is kind of running away with over half of the votes, but you have all the way through 5 p.m. this Sunday to make your vote heard. We'll be making an announcement because it is finalized at that point, and it will be immortalized on the number 06 Arkham Menards car driven by Brayton Laster, July 25th. Again, we'll have another vote coming up shortly after that, either the same day or next day, again, in relations to the car. So be on the lookout for that one too, and it'll probably run through the following Sunday. So announcements will be made for that. As far as the instigators, again, if you have not already seen our post about the season tickets, early bird season tickets, half price for a limited time, $49.99. Go ahead and get your tickets now. Also includes any home games in addition to the regular season. So that means any postseason games, playoffs, play-ins, you get your home game tickets for those as well. Again, Best Choice Fieldhouse is the official home venue for your Hoosier State Instigators for this season as well. I look forward to seeing all of you out there for some of the games this upcoming season, season 3 of the Instigators. Really looking forward to that. How are we going to get the season started though? Not with well, we did have that. That's not what I was going. This one with tryouts. So tryouts again tomorrow. this could be the last tryouts of the offseason for the Instigators. Again, it's going to depend on how we feel about the player roster, player pool, player talent, and kind of the roster that we're shaping. If this is going to be it, if you're even remotely thinking about it and you're in the area, go ahead and show up. Again, this could be your last chance for this offseason to be on the Instigators. $75 at the door. If you sign up ahead of time, save yourself 10. Get in for 65 instead. But again, this is how we shape our roster. The vast majority of our guys have come from the tryouts. So this is the best chance to show up and show out. We will have, owners there, coaching there, and some of the guys that we plan on having on the roster there as well. So lots of different guys out there, and guys and gals scouting for the Instigators for this upcoming season. And again, hopefully we can get some footage to share for you guys on that. But again, Harrison Center, Indianapolis. Again, I think this is going to be a great turnout. We've been blowing this one up, and we've had a lot of people sharing it, a lot of people commenting and liking it. We had over 30 people to the tryouts last season, so hopefully we can get a new record on that. But this is in Indianapolis, the Harrison Center, 1 p.m. tomorrow. Again, show up, show out, and try to earn yourself a spot on the Instigators roster for the upcoming ABA season. Become a professional basketball player for Hamilton County's own professional basketball team. So that is gonna do it for tonight's episode. But again, lots of stuff to get caught back up on. I look forward to jumping back on amateur night again. That's probably going to be Monday night, but we'll make an announcement. It's not tomorrow. It's probably going to be Monday, and hopefully we'll be back with some fun updates next week with the Instigators. And the off season, see how things progress. Hopefully, updates with the tryouts, the fan votes, with the car, all that type of stuff. And that is gonna do it for tonight's episode. Thank you as always for tuning in. We will be back next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, streaming live here on the Patreon for all the members, YouTube, as well as Twitch, the Apex Athletic Collective Twitch. Until then, as always, be great and instigate.